right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to read you a story or an account. Let me see, modern day account. And I want us to all to understand something here. We're living in rapidly changing times. And if you don't start making preparations, if you do not start making preparations, if you do not get your mind together mentally, we're going to see a lot of these things that I'm getting ready to share with you intensify over here in America. And that's the reason why I get out in the front and try to outrun, the things that are getting ready to take place so that your mind can be mentally prepared. And because if your mind is mentally prepared, then you'll be prepared. I want you to see the headline right here. It says, depression, suicides rise as Euro debt crisis intensify. Now listen to the headlines. Europe. A growing number of global and European health bodies are warning that the introduction and intensification of austerity measures has led to a sharp rise in mental health problems with suicide rates, alcohol abuse, and requests for antidepressants increasingly as people struggle with the psychological cost of living through the European-wide recession. No one should be surprised that factors such as unemployment, debt, and relationships breakdown can cause bouts in mental illness and may push people who are already vulnerable to take their own lives. Richard Cowan of the British Mental Health Charity told CNBC, there does not appear to be a connection between unemployment rates and suicide, for an example. He said, referring to a recent study in the British Medical Journal that stated that more than 1,000 people in the UK may have killed themselves because of the impacts of recession. This research reflects other work showing similarities rise in suicides across Europe, according to Jose Van Motorel, advisors of the European Organization or Mental Health Europe. The financial crisis is affecting all areas of life, not just economics, and its impact on the mental health is creating a deep schism in our society. The credit crunch has had about, one unexpected consequence that reflects deep in our society, the rise in sharp mental health problems, largely caused by uncertainty and fear of the future. Hear that? Uncertainty and fear of the future. Now, let me interject a little bit of wisdom here for a second. I teach the people here where I pastor, as well as those assemblies that are in home gatherings that listen to me and follow me as I follow the Messiah, that you have to get yourself mentally strong, because projecting thoughts and projecting fears will work you up into an unstable state, and your mind will send you off into projecting things that hasn't even happened, and you'll start taking care of and thought for things that is not even a reality. And these fears will begin to engulf you. These fears will begin to mess with your mind. Now, mind you, you're not even dealing with reality. You're dealing with things that could be coming down the line. And that's why I teach people, you won't have to worry about these things that you project that could be coming down the line. Because the truth is, they may not be coming down the line, but it's a reality to you because you believe that they are coming down the line because it's in your mind. And so you have to be careful. You have to actually do something. And I don't know what to do outside of the ministry. I have answers when you're in the ministry. I have answers how to cope and how to deal with things like this. But outside of it, I can't help you. I really, truly can't help you because, you're not going to get people today that is actually going to perform what you're suggesting. I mean, think about it. We're getting ready to go mentally insane. We're socially unstable here in this country. And you're going to see people who have been used to a certain lifestyle. You're going to watch them start skydiving off high rises. You're going to start watching people kill themselves and people just not care any more about living because money affects people. It does. It affects. And as a matter of fact, the Bible says money answers all things. So think about this for a second. You know, here in society, people weigh other people's status based on the things that they're able to obtain by the job that they have. Now, the scriptures teach that a man's life does not consist in the abundance of things in which he possesses. But yet and still, regardless of what they see, if you don't know what that Bible says, if you don't know what it says, you're going to live your life contrary to it. So when all these fears come upon you, you won't have any answers. That's why the world already has solutions trying to solve spiritual problems with natural means. So the way that they try to solve the problem is you go get drunk to drown your sorrows and you forget about it for a time being, and then you have to go do it again the next day and again the next day, because every day you sober up, the problem is still there because you haven't did anything about it. And it just continually keep growing. Or they give you a pill to calm you down, or depression pill or something like that. Whatever it is, we do everything other than what we should be doing. And we're always trying to look for answers for what's going on in this life everywhere but from the Bible. And most people can't even interpret hardly what the Bible says because you have to have a righteous spirit. You have to have a righteous attitude and mind. But hey, you can be secure and you can be content. That's the key right there. Contentment. You can be content with a little and live. Very, very simple. Yes, you can too. And be happy. But your flesh is still trying to maintain the lifestyle that it is always maintained because your mind has not been, you have not educated yourself to think any other way. So if you're not accustomed, hey, Pastor Dow didn't store food at one time. I had to actually educate myself to see why I need to do that. There was a time I never even invested in silver, but I had to educate myself in order to start doing that. There was a time that I lived in the cities, believe it or not. A lot of things that you believe, I used to believe, but I had to stop for a second, step back, and I had to actually do some independent thinking and some independent research, because every time I went out to search for things and look for things, I found myself running up against a brick wall. I found out, man, this is the same thing that everybody else is doing, and they're going chaotically mad. They're going literally insane. So I've got to change. I've got to literally change this course, because if I don't, I won't be prepared. My family won't be prepared. I will not be able to help others get prepared. And so I need to implement a change in my life and do it now, because I saw all this that is going on, and my lifestyle is evident that I saw all this going on many years ago. While everybody else was feasting and playing, Pastor Dow was fasting and praying. While everybody else was running to and fro and running up debt and running up credit and stuff, you know what I was doing? Making preparations, because I saw this storm coming a long time ago. And now people are starting to listen to me. Whereas before, I was considered a crackpot, a kook, a sociopath, a cult, and somebody who ain't got no sense. Now, all of a sudden, my doors are being overrun with people who want to know what I know, who want to know how to implement what I've already implemented and done, with a proven track record that it can be done. They want to get into my mindset and try to figure out how to do these things, because you know why? They get a clearance that, you know what? This big-eyed preacher on YouTube that's got this straightway true side back there, this man, he ain't as crazy as everybody trying to make him out to be. If anybody got sense, that man got sense. You listen to a wise man, you'll be wise. You listen to a fool, you'll be a fool. If you do all the things that you've always done and you expect change, you are insane, because it's just not going to happen. Let me finish this article right here. Let me see, what was that? All right. A recent survey of general practitioners, family doctors in Britain, by the Insight Research Group seems to support what this guy says. The data shows that about 300 family doctors surveyed, the majority reported that austerity was damaging their patients' health. That's because fear damages your health. And fear starts to attack your body. See, what they do is they try to take care of your declining health, and they never deal with the spiritual side of things. It's the fear. It's the projecting of worry that's destroying you, and it's causing your bodies to literally go crazy. And because it's in your mind does affect your body. And I'm going to say it once, I said it once, I said it 5 times. You cannot solve spiritual problems with natural means. Did you hear what I said? You cannot solve spiritual problems with natural means. The only thing that the medical profession can do for you is mask the symptoms and cover up the symptoms of what you have dealing with in your body. But they cannot give you a solution to this problem. I'm going back again. 76% of their patients were unhealthier due to the economic climate, and 77% said that more patients were seeking treatment for anxiety. The doctor survey relayed an increase for the incidence of alcohol abuse, anxiety, depression, and requests for abortions due to the economic reasons. Now we want to start killing babies just because we don't make any money. I tell you, boy. Evidence borne out of statistics, antidepressants requests in the UK, which have risen 28% from 34 million prescriptions in 2007 to 43.4 million in 2011. Wolfgang, whatever his guy's name, told the Financial Times in July that the debt crisis in the Eurozone could likely last 20 years. No, No, they're being very optimistic right here. But I'm going to tell you the truth, and you're not going to like it because the truth that I'm going to tell you is going to be very pessimistic. This crisis, that's the Eurozone crisis, it's going to last well longer than 20 years. You better look more like 50 to 100 years if these jackal boot-licking dogs don't change the way that they do things. And I'm going to tell you right now, they ain't going to change the way they do things because it's like a drug. It's a greed is like a drug. They're not going to change. You better learn how to live simple so that you can be rich in spirit, rich in mind, rich in body and soul, because, creating fiat currency out of thin air and calling it money and stuff, that's not going to solve your problems. What is going to solve your problems is listening to someone who has wisdom and then following in that same example. And then you'll find peace and you'll find rest for your soul. But until then, you're going to be dealing with the same thing that these people can't deal with, can't cope. Now, America is nothing but a jacked up hypocrite because people looking at the Eurozone, but America is 10 times worse than the Eurozone. And the reason why you can't see it right now, because, hey, you think about this. Watch and see what happens in this country when people can't get food stamps and EBT cards and Social Security and Medicare and Medicaid, and more people, when austerity really hits this country, when you got policemen, firemen, teachers, hey, they've already done crashed the auto industry, and you got these lying people up there running for president. The auto industry is bouncing back. It's bouncing back from where? Hell. No, man, I tell you, come on, don't be deceived. I told you, if a politician mouth is moving, he or she is lying. That's all there is to it. You got to come out of the system. You have to come out of his way of thinking in order to think right. I hope that I said something. And I know I'm going to offend a lot of people. That's okay, though. I mean, you have to understand, I accepted that years and years and years ago. And then they show a woman. Check this out right here. Look at that poor Israelite woman right there, huh? Sitting there on the edge of a water fountain. I mean, looking just as holy, but check it out. Huh? No hope. They show a picture of no hope. That's America. No hope. Well, you know what the problem with America is that most people are not willing to go through the necessary, painful changes in order to live content and free. And because they're not willing to deal with the pain right now, the next level of pain is going to pale in comparison to this pain, because this next level of pain is going to lead to certain death.